The reality of being a Forex trader is hard, but I think it's never been easier to get into Forex than it is in 2026. Now, there's many reasons for this. I started in 2021, back in January at the very start of the year. And I think it was a lot harder back then than it is now. The reason I say this is because Forex and the Forex community has evolved a lot. There's a lot that's changed, for the better, but also for the worse as well. I think there's kind of both sides to it. But I definitely think it's easier now, and I think you should get into Forex in 2026. So the first reason being is there's far more content and far more creators out there. This is because Forex has become far more mainstream than it was maybe 3 or 4 years ago. Now, that's obviously good because there's more to learn from, more people to learn from, more strategies to view. But that can also be difficult because then you've got more to pick from, and there's definitely more scammers than there was back in the day, shall we say. But because there's more information out there, you can learn it quicker. And that means that you don't have to spend as much time on one strategy. Like when I got into it, it was very much support, resistance, trend lines, or ICT. And those were kind of the two options. Whereas now there's different versions of ICT. There's supply and demand, there's fib strategies, there's liquidity strategies. I've seen even on Twitter, institution. I've seen even on Twitter, instinct trading, where it's just like, you look at it and you decide if it's going to buy or sell. And I wouldn't recommend you do that, but there's a plethora of strategies out there to choose from that fit your style the most. Not only is there a lot more content strategies as it's more mainstream, but there's more tools than ever before. Back when I got into it, there was kind of the replay method that wasn't that good on TradingView, and then you had to develop the data yourself on spreadsheets and kind of go through it like that. Now you have tons of different providers for backtesting software, like FX Replay, TradeZella. There's tons of them, and not only that, there's journals. There's Edgewonk. TradeZella has a journal. FX Replay might have one, I believe. I'm not too sure though. But my point being is there's more tools now to make it even easier to develop and improve your trading than there was, 5, 10, years ago, or even, a couple years ago when I got into it. So you have more content, more variety of content, but you also have more tools to help you on that journey. On top of that, there's tons of added information around the fundamental side of things. A lot of the times you kind of just knew the name back in the day and you traded it, but you didn't necessarily know what it was. Now there's websites and documents dedicated to helping you understand what NFP is, CPI, PPE, PCIe, GDP, all these talks and data releases you can now get more clarity on and learn to trade around it. Now, it can be, more difficult in certain areas. For example, prop firms now are a lot harder to get payouts from than they were, a couple years ago. I could do a video on that as well, but that's just due to the evolution of rules, new rules, trying to make them harder to pass, reduced risk. Obviously, they're businesses at the end of the day, so they want to make money. So I kind of get that. When prop firms first came out, it was very, you have to hit this, and if you don't hit this, then you fail. But now there's a lot more rules. So prop firms might be slightly harder now to get payouts from, but there's more confidence around the ones that have been around for a long time. So FTMO, E8, those guys, they've been in the game for a long time. When it first kind of was released or announced, it didn't necessarily have as much backing as it does now. I think as well, with the rise of social media and traders being on social media, there's more people to reach out to. Even these smaller Forex creators like myself, but other people as well, they all will have social media that you can talk to. They might have free communities, groups, things like that you can take advantage of. Again, there were a few back when I got into it, but because Forex is now a bigger industry and more people are doing it, there's more access to that information than there was previously. So that's another good thing. It kind of goes hand in hand with the additional education and strategies to choose from, that you can reach out to these people and get information from them, seek advice, things like that. And you can also make more connections because there's more people doing it, there's more people to speak to, so you can kind of build up a network of traders all at a similar level, and you can kind of learn and grow together. On top of that, nowadays you kind of see futures becoming a lot more of a thing, and that's another thing I want to do a video on. Futures was obviously still a thing back when I got into trading, but it's far more popular now than it ever has been. And so it's like, when I got into trading, it was very much you traded EUG or gold. Those were kind of the three, or GJ maybe. And the rest were kind of, you know, a few people traded them, but they weren't that popular. Now you see people trading all sorts of currencies, futures, gold, silver, oil. And so if you are someone that would prefer to trade like a different currency, again, going back to what I was saying, there's more people doing that. There's more people trading futures now. There's more people trading oil and silver now than maybe back in a couple years ago, 5 years ago. So you can get more information around that. You can learn more about it. And again, it gives you more variety to explore, to trade, and to find what works best for you. Now, on top of that as well, there's more information around, you know, psychology than there was a couple years ago. People didn't really treat psychology as too big of a thing as maybe they do now. And so you can find out everything you need to know around losing mentality, or, you know, fixing your psychology for your trading, how to improve that. And so ultimately, do I think, you know, Forex is good to get into in 2026? Absolutely. I think it's never been easier. And I think the reality of a Forex trader in 2026 is that you'll probably have far more success now, and it's sort of best set up for you to succeed than it would, you know, in the years prior. There's more tools, there's more information, there's more variance in strategy and what pairs you can trade, or futures even. And as I said, that does come with some negatives, you know, having more scammers and people like that. But overall, it's definitely better for you now than it was a few years ago. So let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think it's easier now than it was maybe say in 2020, 2021? Because I'm intrigued to hear what you guys also think. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next video.